and why they should never be blamed for what they have experienced. We are all college students, most of us are, and by now we've all heard the stories and witnessed people's reactions. This topic is something that I have felt very passionately about for many years now. So I want to start off by telling you all some of the facts. According to Huffington Post, where I got most of my facts, at least 300,000 women are raped annually in the United States, which, by the way, is ranked number 13 in the entire world for number of rapes. So I want you all to think about that for a minute. Think about all these third world countries where you hear about all these horrible things going on uncontrollably, and the United States still manages to make it into the top 13. And this great state of Texas that we all call home is ranked number 2 in the United States. I, as a woman, have a 1 in 5 chance of being raped on any given day here. According to Esther Zuckerman, 31 states have no laws restricting a rapist from suing for the custody of the child that was conceived during their attack. So in other words, if I was raped, got pregnant, and made the courageous decision to keep my baby, later on in life, my rapist could come back and sue me for the right to have my child. If this were you, would you make the same decision knowing that later on in life, your attacker could come back and haunt you in more ways than one? For my next point, I want to express how important it is that this is in no way at all a devastating issue only for women. Until 1927, rape was defined as a man forcing himself upon a woman. So it wasn't until less than a century ago that society even considered the fact that men can be victimized as well. According to Sarah LaTrent, incidents of sexual violence are severely underreported in the United States, particularly among male victims. She states that male victims have a harder time putting into words what happened. Why do you think that is? Is masculinity the issue? Or is it because people belittle or even ignore the fact that men can be victims too? Sarah tells the story of James Lambert. So basically, James is at a bar. He meets a few people, one of which being this pregnant woman. And later on in the night, this woman meets her at home. James offers her one, and as a thank you, she buys him a drink. He begins to feel really disoriented, and the woman suggests getting a motel room to sleep it off. James says that he remembers going to sleep, specifically clothed, because he felt too uncomfortable taking his pants off in front of a stranger. In the middle of the night, James is awakened, naked, with this woman straddling him, and immediately he pushes her off to try and stop her because he knows what's happening is wrong, but she stops him and says, if you try and resist at all, you'll hurt my baby. It took James months of therapy to come to terms with the fact that he is a rape victim. Now for my last point, I want to share with you all an excerpt from a poem that I wrote a while back. This poem is meant to be sort of testimonial. It starts off describing my childhood and the things that I had to cope with, and I skip over a few years and begin my next stanza with this. Flash forward to New Year's 2014. I woke up feeling lost, throw up all over me. No clue what my drunk story this time would be. I stood up and my back clenched in agony. I searched for my phone just to find a cracked screen with hundreds of texts from my friends trying to see what in the world really happened to me. I heard all the stories and I heard all the rumors in every story, and I asked everyone what had really been seen. He was almost 20 and I was 16. He stole something that dearly belonged to me. With no trouble at all, he took my purity. I cried to my mom and I took this small pill. Then I cried out to God that he'd show me his will. I was scared and alone, didn't know what to feel. All over again, my life went downhill. I felt caught on a hook that I couldn't unreel. I wept for the day that my heart would just heal in the moment blamed, they should be